So my mom said that my videos had been a little too serious lately. Apparently like mold in a camper, decluttering sentimental items, like all that kind of stuff is kind of heavy. So she said we should have a little more fun today. There's two ways that I know to have fun. One is throwing stuff away, and the other is to have Tom in the video.
No, that's a nice compliment.
I think so. All right, so Tom will add some color, but we're gonna show you some things that we've just gotten rid of this week. It's a constant in and out process in our house to maintain minimalism, so we'll show you what those things are. Well, hi, I'm Dawn from The Minimal Mom. If we haven't met before, we have 4 kids, ages 5 through 10, and I'm married to Tom. And my mom said we needed to have a little more fun on our videos, and so I actually asked on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram too. You can follow Tom on Instagram too. But I said, what would be a fun topic? And there's a lot of requests for clean with me videos, which I don't necessarily think of cleaning as fun.
No.
But also the response was any kind of like throwing stuff away or purging is always fun too. And I think,
well, that's good. We got a bunch of stuff to throw away.
we got stuff to get rid of. And so the question often comes up, how do you maintain minimalism? Or probably more specifically, is it hard to maintain minimalism? And I think for us, we've been living this way for 5 or 6 years now, that you kind of get into a rhythm of a steady in and out flow of stuff through your house. So today I want to show you some things that still have the potential to hang me up, a couple things of Tom's that we'll go through, but also things like projects that the kids make, like guitars and campers that they make out of
that are
boxes.
quite large.
And detailed, and they put a lot of time into. So what we do with those types of things, trinket toys or things that come from like the dollar store or birthday parties, we'll talk about those things too. So we'll just show you the stuff that we're getting rid of this week. Tom tends to get a little bit bored when I talk too much, so I thought we would start with one of his things. So we
no, let's back up here. That's not when you do the minimalism talking.
Yeah.
Talking about getting rid of things and cleaning and all that. That's not when you talk too much.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. So, and I would say for us, Tom's more the like neat and orderly person in our household, right? Like you really like things simplified. And we talked about this a little while back at a video with Diana of like, does my husband deserve a clean house? And I'm just realizing now that how he's wired, his stress level and anxiety level is so much lower when our house is neat and tidy, right? And that's not wrong, but for me being more of just a naturally kind of disorganized or messy person, I didn't fully understand that. So I do try to keep our house more simplified because of that. So one of the things that have been hanging in our closet for quite a while is this assortment of neckties of Tom's, and I've left it there because we have space in our closet for it, so it hasn't like been a problem. But I saw these the other day. Actually, they were just hanging on like a hanger, and some of them fell off, and I was like, he never wears these ever. Like, can you
ever? Like,
when was the last time you, like in the past year, have you even wore a necktie? We went to his cousin's wedding.
I wore this to Diana and Princeton's wedding.
Okay.
3 years ago.
Got it. There's another wedding one. This was Joe's wedding. How long ago was this?
That was 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Okay, good.
These I got for real estate. These 3 were real estate.
Okay.
No, is that 3? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
These 3 were real estate.
And we took your photo in them, and I think that was about it.
No, I wore these, but this was like brand new real estate. This was like
when you still got all dressed up.
8 years ago when we first started.
Yeah.
I don't know where this one came from.
I don't ever remember seeing you wear this one.
No?
So, but like we went to your cousin's wedding this fall, and you, even though you wore your suit, you just did an open collar. There was like kind of that in between of dressy and casual. So you didn't wear a tie for that. Can you remember? I'm trying to think when the last time you wore a tie.
Princeton and Diana's wedding.
So 3 years ago. So I'm thinking we keep one of them and get rid of the rest. What do you think about that?
Sure.
Do you have an idea of which one? I have an idea of which one I'm thinking.
No, not Diana and Princeton's.
Not the pink one.
Sorry guys. And it's a skinny tie. That's not really
yeah,
my
that's
thing.
not Tom.
It's not my thing either.
Yeah, I'm thinking this one.
Sure.
Because I think this goes with the most of your dress shirts for versatility. Any others?
Easy peasy. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that feels good, doesn't it?
See, that's how easy this is.
It can be. I know not everyone has that experience with their spouse. Again, we've been doing this for like 5 or 6 years, so it does get easier, and spouses come around. Tom did a huge purge on his clothes last winter, so a year ago, and it took that long for him to be ready to do it. So here's another thing. We had like a plague come through our house the last 2 weeks, just like a horrible virus. Everybody ended up with it at some point.
Even then this morning, everyone's been feeling good, and Dawn and I are like, yeah,
my stomach feels unsettled.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. So we had gotten this digital thermometer. It has that thing that comes off really easily where you can do like the ear. So these are great, especially when you have little kids and you want to be sure what their temperature is. It is
super inaccurate.
Wildly inaccurate. I don't know if the kids like dropped it or something, but it is so inaccurate. So we just went back to using like the little digital thermometer you get at the hospital. And so this is the type of thing I would be tempted just to throw it back in the bathroom cabinet. But I was like, why would I do that? Like, why would we keep this? And so I just searched on Google real quick. It said to remove the batteries, and then the rest of it can go in the garbage can. So we're not gonna replace this. We'll just use the one that goes under the tub. The kids are all old enough for
yeah, I was gonna say, now that the kids are older, the amount of times in a year that we actually even use a thermometer.
And you know, as a mom, like your hand gets very accurate at like telling temperature, like, oh, low grade temp. Oh, yeah, let's do some ibuprofen. Oh, this one we gotta take you in, right? Like you get to know these things. All right, I'm gonna bore Tom real quick and talk about makeup. These are So this is my favorite makeup that I've worn for like 10 years now. I really like it. It's like a powder mineral foundation by Maybelline. It's not Bare Minerals. I would like to upgrade to that, but I just am cheap still. I really like this though, but I ran out of it, and I ran into Walgreens, and they didn't have this. They just had this kind, and I was like, you know, I'm not very picky. I'm sure it'll be fine. Unfortunately, when I put this on, I did not like how it looked at all. I felt like it made my face look wrinkly. Like, none of us need that, right? So I've had this for the past year because I thought, well, I'll just wear it on days where I'm like not going anywhere. I don't really care as much what my makeup looks like, but I've never actually pulled it back out to wear it. And so I just need to throw this away now and not try and keep it thinking that someday I'm gonna decide I want my face to look wrinkly and I'm gonna wear it, right? But it stinks because this was like $12, I think. So it just stinks to throw stuff away like this. But keeping it in my drawer is not putting the money back in my pocket, and I'm not actually.
Sorry, I almost dumped this on myself. I thought,
oh, yeah, don't do that.
I thought you had said how you had this forever. I was like, well, if it's an empty jar, why are you keeping it? But no, it's not empty.
This is a new one. I just got a new one. This I get at Walmart.
I almost dumped it on myself. This is why I don't do these with you.
All right, let's talk about kitchen stuff. So I've talked about this before, but like real estate in the kitchen is very valuable, at least for us. We don't have a very big kitchen. And I'd gotten this 3 set of bowls. It's from the Pioneer Woman. My mom gave it to me quite a few years ago. And it was really fun, and our kitchen had like multicolors in the past. But I was just looking through the cupboards quickly, and I'm like, I have not used this in probably 2 years. Like the last handful of times we've entertained, I've never pulled it back out. And it doesn't really go with our like motif in our kitchen right now. And so even though it was a gift and I had really liked it in the past, we're just not using it anymore, so I would just rather have the cupboard space back. So I'm gonna donate this and hope somebody is super excited when they come across it at Goodwill.
Oh, it's on the floor.
Found it. Come show it.
Oh, in the bathroom, on the floor. All right, show it off.
Show us your guitar.
What?
Is that cool?
You make a little guitar?
Yeah. You want to hold up Corbin's guitar?
Corbin make its guitar?
Isn't that cool?
It's actually, yeah,
it is like 3D. Yeah, that was pretty cool, wasn't it?
That's a lot of duct tape.
Awesome. All right, why don't you go play and we'll talk about what we're gonna do with all this stuff.
Smash the guitar.
Go play it out, buddy. So what was so funny? So we got this camper like 3 weeks ago, and we don't want to talk about like the mold and how much work Tom has been doing in it to get it back to where we thought we were buying it, but to make it usable for our family. But what was so fun, he was working out there, but it was moldy and stuff, so the kids couldn't go out there.
Right. We brought all the kids through it once, like
before we started.
Before we took it all apart, we walked them through it and showed them like, these are your beds, this is all how it works, and so then they got camper on the brain.
So they started making their own campers out of cardboard boxes, and which was super fun. Like they would sit in them and everything.
I just want to show it from
The
this
scale.
perspective.
I can't open
Oh,
up.
and then it's multiple boxes taped together.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like they have a little kitchen in there. Is this the sink?
Yep.
Oh, you can do your dishes in there?
Yep.
Wow, that looks pretty good.
Corbin made a further sink.
Yeah, that's awesome. Adeline, I don't know where the eggs are. She made eggs out of felt.
Oh, and did you hear Dawn say that they actually sat inside these?
Yeah, so then they would sit in their camper.
Yeah.
So super fun. I would say for at least a few days, they were all like super engrossed in playing in it. They all played together with it.
There's another one too.
There's another
somewhere.
one too.
Yeah.
And so what I love, since we've simplified our kids' toys, and they are so incredibly creative. They are constantly creating things. And then here was, like we said, Corbin's guitar that he made. Gage had a guitar too.
The girls have guitars, so Corbin wanted to make a guitar.
Made a guitar with 2 rolls of tape. Like, I don't even feel like we have to put our kids in a ton of like enrichment activities anymore, because they create. I'll show you this too. This was Corbin found a design at school for a sun stove. So he copied down during his like playtime at school, he copied down the directions, and then he came home and he made it. And so they're just like, it's awesome. Like they blow our mind on a daily basis, like the things that they come up with.
What's Dawn gonna do? Throw it out.
But we could not possibly keep all of this
Oh my goodness,
stuff.
we couldn't. No.
No, it's just beyond what we could possibly
No,
keep.
like when I joke about Gage being a hoarder, like, no joke, Dawn would be mortified if we filmed Gage's space.
We'll show it to you.
Because
it's a disaster.
It's like, oh my god.
Do you have a lot of stuff over here? But do you like making projects? We love how creative they are, but we can't possibly keep all this stuff. And so like with the campers, what I told the kids was, hey, I've noticed you guys aren't really playing with those anymore. So in 2 days, if you're not still playing with them, then they're just gonna go out to the garage. You can imagine where they
Which
go from
is like
there.
that when your parents took their pet to that
to the
farm.
farm in the country, yeah.
Same type
so
of thing.
it's our offsite storage that gets burned. So I give them a warning if you're not gonna play with it anymore. But you all know how it goes, right? They have so much fun creating this stuff. Like the fun part for them is building it. So I just tell them like, oh, yep, I noticed you haven't really been playing with that. 2-day warning, and then it's while you're at school, it's gonna disappear. And that's just been what we've created in our house, and it's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you feel too like now the kids are like, yeah, we talked
they
about the fun is in the creating.
That, or even like, so the girls' desk space, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about condensing their desk space into a smaller desk. And I was worried about Adeline being like nervous that she wasn't gonna have enough place for her stuff. Dawn talked to her about it, and she was like, okay, yeah, no, I could get rid of some of my things. Like,
she's actually noticed too that she works better when she has fewer things, and she doesn't like having to maintain a lot of stuff. Like sometimes after Christmas or her birthday, she's like, oh, I have so much stuff, and she gets a little bit overwhelmed by it. So we've talked about that quite a bit, that yeah, it's almost more fun just to have the basics and just that, and so they agree. Again, this is all a process. We didn't get here overnight, but I want you to feel encouraged that it's not possible to keep everything that your child creates. We'll take pictures of the really special stuff, but even pictures become something that we have to manage. So I'm aware of we don't set the standard that we even take pictures of everything. More kid stuff. So like the stuff they get, like birthday parties, dollar store, like our kids will still go to the dollar store. They'll spend their own money there sometimes. It's fine. The rule we have is that if it ends up on the floor,
and yes, this is a Culver's ice cream store.
if it ends up on the floor, I'll give them a warning. I'll be like, oh, it looks like you've lost value for that. You're not really taking good care of it anymore. They can pick it up and put it in one of their like safe places where they can keep stuff. If they don't, I throw it away. And a lot of times the stuff, they don't care anymore, right? And so that's why I don't like freak out anymore when they come home from birthday parties and they have like the treat bag of stuff, or after the holidays, or because we just have these systems in place now where it's like, okay, your stuff has to fit in your bins, it has to fit in your cubbies. And we've also tried, well, we demonstrate that to them too. Like we don't try to keep everything, but we talk a lot about like, oh, doesn't it feel good? Like they love it when the house is clean, right? Like, doesn't it feel good when it's clean? Doesn't it feel good to have less stuff to take care of? And they agree with it. And so that's helped a lot too. All right, so things we spent money on. The girls did like a dance camp this summer. I was really hesitant to buy like any kind of ballet shoes or jazz shoes or anything for it because I just didn't know if it was something they were gonna keep doing. Well, they talked me into ballet slippers then for their like final performance. Adeline has not worn these since. And it bums me out because, so I split the cost with her. I was like, I'll pay for half, you pay for half if you really want them. Because I was hoping then she would be like, no. So she paid for half, but she has not worn these since. And so these are, I'm gonna double check with her, but these are probably just gonna get donated. And it stinks, right? It stinks when there's stuff we've spent money on, but I just know better now after 6 years that keeping it in the house, she's still not gonna wear them whether we keep them or not. But I just want to encourage you to, because I know like the question does come up about maintaining minimalism and is it hard once you've gotten your house really simplified. And I remember back in the beginning where we were still kind of in that season of like I would declutter but then stuff would creep back in, and it felt then like, oh, this is going to be so hard to maintain because that season was kind of tough when we were decluttering. But once we got all the way over to this point of having our house simplified, I just feel like we've kind of detached ourselves from stuff. We just really realized the stuff is not important. We've been able to develop a mindset where we say, you know, we're not perfect. Like, yes, sometimes we buy things that we regret and it happens. And so we're not perfect, but we can just cut our losses right now and not worry about it and go on. And so it really is just like, I just have this habit now of always looking for stuff and being like, have I used it recently? Like, have I actually used it? And if not, then letting it pass through our house and not take up permanent residency here. Well, I would love to know, like, what does any of this like resonate with you? Is there any kind of stuff that's been hanging you up? Or have you gotten a pretty good groove going? Do you feel like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, like some people do when they're decluttering? Let us know down below so that we can encourage you too. But we hope you subscribe. We will be doing more decluttering coming up, even if my mom thinks that's not fun. And our camper.
Maybe we'll come to your house then.
Yeah,
Nana?
that would be, yeah, we'll go to Nana's. She's been doing a really great job, although she does have a pantry that needs a little attention. But our camper is coming back together, so that's been fun. So we'd love it if you subscribed. You can see decluttering stuff, you can see camper stuff and project stuff, but
home remodel stuff. Yeah,
whatever we're up to, it's fun to share with you. So we hope you subscribe, but thank you so much for watching. We love you and we'll visit with you again soon.
Bye bye.